Hey, what's up, folks? Welcome to Sunday Night Fights. We're just getting started here. Thanks for sticking around. We just had David playing some Blitz, doing some training. And now we got some classical games, some 90 plus 30s. We're going to have 3 games today. Got 2 already going on, 1 scheduled to start at the end of the hour. And yeah, already some exciting stuff. Hey, Backrank Brawler. Hey, Brian, how's it going? How's everyone doing? Jesse, how's it going with you?
Pretty good, and I just learned that Mitch is also about to start, so we're going to get some deep opening theory in going on here too.
Oh, fantastic. Mitch's games are always exciting to follow. It's like watching a theoretician.
Well, no, it's not like watching a theoretician. You are watching a theoretician. Yeah, if the Soviets had that guy back in the day, Fischer would have had no chance.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Foos Chess. Yeah, that was a great cover. Jesse was on that. A little sad that they didn't include David, but they just didn't have room for everyone. There were some
Well, I tell
some
you, I
big
had
snubs.
to look real hard to find myself. I had to look real hard on that cover. I was hidden.
Well, they found an amazingly economical photo of like you, Tadev, Josh, and was it Alejandra? I forgot the fourth.
No, it was with Hess. Yeah,
Oh, Hess.
All four of us were tiny.
Right.
We were economical, as you say. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah, we did cross 2,000. Actually, we're way over 2,000. I'm just gonna delete the follower goal for now. We'll come up with a new goal soon. But we did cross 2,000 followers this week. So that was awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, they missed Backrank Brawler. So many people not on it. Hostpud wasn't on it. So many folks.
Well, I guess we got to get right into it. The big question. I have a feeling we're going to be on opposite sides of this one, my friend. How do you feel about the Smith-Morra gamble?
Well, I think
we got a live one on our hands here.
Yeah, look at this. This is great. I mean, we could start with a little bit of background info. So John Davis, I know he's a big fan of the stream. We've had him on, seen some of his games before. I know he's also a big fan of Mark Esserman's stream, and Esserman is, of course, like the Smith-Morra king. And John is, from what I understand, a really well-prepared guy, like very deep, strong engines. So he takes all these sharp openings, like the King's Gambit he's also a big fan of, and the Smith-Morra, and he prepares them, and he's also, a madman. Like, he wants to attack and just checkmate his opponents. So that's his style. Now, I think he does struggle a little bit in classical time controls, because I feel like he plays a little bit too fast. Like, he's more of a blitz and rapid player, at least just from what I've seen in the games so far. But that's where, like, he might struggle. Like, if he gets like a really sharp position, then he only spends like 3 minutes on it and just comes up with a move, he might just immediately blunder and lose the game. So he has to be pretty accurate here. I think his repertoire is like better suited for blitz and rapid overall, just because it's so sharp and dynamic.
Okay.
Now, as far as the Smith-Morra goes, yeah, I think Hosebud is not misquoting me. I've definitely referred to it as irrelevant, and for me personally, it is kind of irrelevant. I just never see it, and I never have to see it as black, because I take the first pawn, and after c3 I'm just gonna play knight f6 here, because this is already part of my repertoire when it comes to the Alapin, and so that's all I need. Like, why would I waste my time going into these like insane complications if I can just play the Sicilian? Is already bad enough. I mean, there's just so many lines. If you want to play the Najdorf from the Taimanov, there's so many lines already where you can just get checkmated out of the opening if you don't know your theory. Like, why would you go into another one, especially like against a Fnatic? So that's how I feel about it.
Okay, no, I thought for a second, I thought you were going to be on the Elijah Logazar train of like the Smith-Morra is just bad and it's refuted and yada yada.
No, not at all. Yeah,
I definitely don't feel that.
If we want to just discuss like the merits of the opening itself, like starting with dc3 knight c3, Then I think Smith Morrow is like fully playable weapon, good for like lower levels, maybe even up to like 2400. I think it can be super dangerous. I think it's good to teach kids this opening because it shows them how to like develop their pieces and play for the attack, which is really important. I think it has a ton of benefits. I just think like as far as my repertoire is concerned, I don't have to deal with it.
Okay. All right. No, I respect that. I played Knight F6 back in the day too. Oh, and Mitch just came in, so we're gonna get Mitch playing as well.
Oh, great. Let me copy this game.
So we got a Yobava London.
Great. I got some opinions on that one too.
Well, I'll tell you what. Meet me in the analysis board, and
Sure.
let's talk about what went down in this opening.
Absolutely.
So, I played the Smith Morrow when I was a kid, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's best suited for some kid who needs to learn how to attack. I thought it was a great opening. I definitely feel it's still equal, or compensation, we want to call it. Knight E7, that's clearly some prep that Vishnu's got. I'm going to say that it does strike me as weird, and I'm so old, I didn't read Esserman's book. I read Mora's book. I read the original two books. And I remember this, it's amazing I remember this. But what he wanted to do against Knight E7 was to play for a very quick E5, so that Black can't get the Black Knight onto E5, right? Because Black is aiming for like this dark square control business. So I think he even wanted to play E5 around here. Bishop G5 strikes me as incorrect. But clearly, like what you're saying, this guy knows what he's doing. And then I was thinking about this position, okay? A6 castles. I still believe in white. I'd much rather have white here. And after G5, which, by the way, I'm not even sure that that's what he wants. Maybe even H6 was a little funny. But I just assumed that after Bishop G3, white's a little bit better. I don't know. And I say that because I don't know where this bishop has so many jobs now. It needs to be on this diagonal, and it needs to be on this diagonal too. So yeah, I like white's position here a lot. I don't know how you feel about it, Kostya, but this knight takes G5 thing that he played kind of quickly. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would imagine that either one or both of the players are in their preparation. I want to check the times real quick.
He definitely thought a lot after Vishnu played H6.
He thought for 4 minutes. So I don't know. That's because, I mean, if you play Bishop G5, are you really not going to check the move H6? Like, I
mean, Knight G7 is already kind of a weird move.
I think Knight E7 is pretty mainstream nowadays. I think it's one of the trendy lines. I'm not a huge expert because I don't have to like look at it, but right. I think this is what Eli wanted in his course. I feel like he wanted some version of Knight E7, so I think it is a pretty popular setup, like with A6 and H6. Right. But I don't know in huge detail about it, but
Right. Okay.
I feel like I remember seeing Eli play some games in this position as black with white playing Bishop G3, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of a messy position, but he seemed to think black had decent chances. It reminds me of like an anti-Moscow gambit, where black is up a pawn in the semi-Slav and has played like B5 and G5 on both sides of the board and is kind of like weakened themselves, and so white has this like long-term compensation.
Okay, that makes sense to me. Now, before we go into like how we feel about Bishop G3, I'm just going to give you my first flat-up assessment of this. This is obviously I'm ignorant, but like, why isn't black just winning after, say, Queen C7? That's my my just basic question I want to ask. Why isn't black winning?
So you're talking about the live position, right? Just queen to c7.
I believe that. You're right. We're waiting to see what Bishop plays, but just for example, queen c7. Why isn't he just playing this position?
I mean, I would imagine it's not enough for white, but like, yeah, there's issues. White can, queen c7. I think white plays. Let's try not to blunder mate. I was blundering I was 2 times yesterday in the simul on the verge of blundering mate and 1, like with my like piece like hovering over a square. And I'm like, oh wait. And David had to like hold his breath. He was having a heart attack. Let's play f4.
Good. I think that's the only move that could possibly justify what we've done, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about it too is maybe the dream, at least white could have the dream of playing for e5 and knight e4. That's really the only plan I see for the guy at this point.
Yeah, some rook e1, knight d5.
Something like that. But the bummer for the thing that I don't like about it is that the rook on h8, we developed that rook. So for example, if I just stop the threat, say d6, I don't see it, man. I don't see the compensation. Whereas I feel like I felt the compensation after 10 bishop g3. This one I just don't. If I'm wrong on this, I feel like that would be great because I would truly be learning something. But I don't see it.
Yeah, it definitely feels like white is the one that has to kind of prove something. I guess we could try. Like my first thought would be, well, either rook e1 or f5. But we're already down a piece.
We're down a piece, bro.
So how are we? We're supposed to just sack another piece.
And on f5, I think I played d5. Yeah. I don't get it.
Well, really, with bishop f4 there, you would play.
But if it went f5, d5, bishop f4, I have queen b6 check, and then I take another
check.
piece.
You just take, and white doesn't really have anything there, huh?
Yeah, but I don't think you did anything wrong. Like from where we started,
right
after 11 bishop g5, queen c7. What else you can do besides f4? And oddly, you're not even really threatening e5 after f4. I mean, I could also play bishop g7, and on e5 I'll just play knight takes e5 or something. It's not really have any proof.
Yeah, I don't really see it for white here. I think John has something to prove. Oh, I forgot we had a poll suggested, so we're gonna do a quick poll in the chat.
Okay, yeah.
I'll let you guys redeem your dojo gold to vote in the poll if you want to vote extra. Yeah, I mean, knight takes g5, it is a sack that happens quite frequently when this knight is on f6 and the pin is really unpleasant. Here it's like the pin is not that hard to deal with, and it's not clear what white did get for the piece, because he didn't open like the e file. All he did was get these like 2g and like the least important pawns in black's position, pawns that sometimes black gives up for free to like a queen g4, queen takes g7, h7, just because of the time it takes white to take them is not even that, it's not a big issue for black. So yeah, it is really hard to believe just looking at it.
And let me contrast it, because so let's just, why don't you take black, and I'm just going to claim that white, my claim is going to be it's much more pleasant for white in this position.
After bishop g3, sure. I mean, I would play it. I would go bishop g7, I guess.
Okay, I was saying knight g6 might also be your intention, but not okay. Bishop g7.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Let's play it with the old. Yeah, let's play queen e2. I'm just gonna do the old Smith-Morra business. Okay,
knight g6.
Yeah. I'm just gonna play totally like stereotypical moves here. Okay, one.
I wish Eli was here to help me. All right, I'll go here.
Good, and arguably maybe I should have like done something about it. But like I said, the main problem I see is like that thing. I want to move that bishop anyway.
67%. 20 votes for yes. Smith-Morra is valid in classical chess.
Cool. No, I totally believe in this Smith-Morra, man. Look at this. Imagine you get this position for white. Like, I don't know what the computer is going to say, but I guarantee it's not going to be pleasant for black. No way.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Although, I mean, would I take white here? I would take white here in some games. I don't know if I would take white.
Yeah.
Every game.
I feel like I played pretty uninspiring too. The reason I did queen e2 rook fd1 is that's like the default Smith-Morra plan, right? When there's so many things that you could actually have done in that position.
Yeah.
Well, should we take a look at Mitch's game?
Sure. Yeah, we can quickly take a look at this opening here. I know a little bit about this one.
It's funny, of all the things, the crazy openings that Yobava has done, this is the one that's gotten the most attention across the chess spectrum because, yeah, people want to make the London a little crazy. Right? Isn't that why this system in particular has gotten some love?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, right. People want to play the London, but they want like an aggressive system, a system where they can attack. I think that's kind of where these h4 lines come from. In this game, white played bishop e2 first, maybe some kind of nuance. I think most players, they play h4 in this position right away. Maybe he was waiting for black to castle or something. I'm not exactly sure. But it probably doesn't make a huge difference. We'll see what Mitch does.
And Mitch actually thought for almost 10 minutes before playing c5. So we have a first, which is that somebody is more prepared than Mitch in the opening.
He might have caught him, yeah. Right, so I'm not totally sure about this c5 move. I think black should usually just play h5 in these positions.
Okay, that's my intuition as well.
And it's definitely a fight, but then from here black goes c5 and knight c6 and can get a lot of counterplay with bishop f5, rook c8. I think overall the positions are totally fine for black, but I mean, it's not 100% clear. I just find it easier to play than facing h5, because that can be pretty annoying.
Right, though I think it's fair to say that it's going to be a question for white. Like, let's say knight c6, h5, knight c6,
yeah.
And then right then is a decision point for white of how he wants to roll there. Like, Alpha Zero might just play h6 in that position.
Right.
And say that that's a bone in the throat forever. And I'm willing to believe that that's an edge for white. I don't know if it's special, but it seems like that could...
I think this is an achievement, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But you can also just leave the pawn.
Well, okay, so what do you do if you don't play h6, though?
I think you go knight f3.
And so you're just... okay, good. And so that would be the question mark for me, is like, well, is black playing knight takes h5?
Yeah. I know in earlier iterations of this line, when white goes like h4 and castles, then they very much just intend to sack the exchange. They'll just play it here.
Right. Right.
So bishop e2, actually it's not clear if this helps white necessarily, because the bishop usually wants to be on, on d3.
And the queen hitting h5. Yeah, that's one of the things I wondered about. But I think, like you said, that the default move for white can just be to play h6 if he comes up with nothing better.
Yeah.
Play for positional messing with the black king.
I would say that would be a pretty simple way to kind of play it. So yeah, a couple of folks asking about how to actually like be a part of the stream and join these tournaments. So there's a couple of ways. So we do these round robin events every once in a while. We try to keep them for basically the higher rated of the folks in the dojo, because they're the ones that are usually kind of the most hungry for like long and actually like stressful training games that can represent like a real like tournament situation because of the long time control. So those are pretty limited, but we also do this ladder tournament where the time control is 45 plus 30. And if you play during the stream time, then we often will cover ladder games as well, because it's a long show, and yeah, we often only have like 2-3 games. And so the rating definitely doesn't matter as far as the stream is concerned. That's just, I was saying, the round robin events are usually like, I would say we get players 1900 and up, and then the ladder event is open to everyone. So there's no rating limits on the ladder. And the ladder is this more open event where anyone can sign up. Then you just challenge players that are within your rating range. And you basically set up matches on your own. You can play whoever is within your rating group, and then if you play during the stream time, then we'll cover the game as well, as long as you just post it in the Discord. So main thing everyone needs to do is join the Discord, because that's where we post all of our announcements, and you can find more info and ask questions and so on and so forth. And then when tournaments open up, because the new event or the new season of the ladder hasn't yet opened yet, but I think we'll be opening up pretty soon, probably this week, then you can sign up for it and start organizing games and playing.
Yeah, and I think I want to. There is no, although we're covering a lot of higher rated games, there's no. We've looked at all kinds of levels of games on this show.
Yeah.
So you're not excluded or anything if you're not higher rated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how about we take a look at your student?
Yeah, so this is a game that started a little while ago. I'm just going to jump to the live position. And as usual, Noah is has spotted 50 minutes to his opponent.
I love this kid. I like this kid a lot. Yeah.
But has a decent position, so it's kind of okay.
Now, here's an interesting thing I was thinking about this position, is that on first glance, it feels to me either clear advantage or close to winning for white. But the more I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Because the knight on e5 is very hard to dislodge, and the extra pawn on the king side means that black should even think maybe about getting a little frisky on the king side himself. I had an interesting game that came about in this line with a Wonder Liang last year as black. I was doing commentary for the U.S. Junior. And what a Wonder Liang did, before we got to this kind of thing, he just started playing moves like h5 and g5 and going for it against the white king. And I was like, really? Wow. You can play that way? And that's this new idea in ef6 variation. Previous generations thought of ef6 as kind of like a passive thing, and now it's turned into this thing where you're like, oh no, I got an extra pawn over there, I can get frisky. Anyways, what's your first take? Are you, yeah, I really did, I want to admit, I've changed my mind on this particular position that we've got here. My first glance was that white was amazing, and now I think black should be, I don't know if he's okay, but he's not as bad as he looks, I don't put it that way.
But I mean, to me, it does feel like, yeah, white has kind of like at least a superficial advantage. But I think in practice, I feel like the bishop often does make itself kind of felt here. eventually, as well as like the control over the D file. I mean, if I got you correctly, it sounds like black has to rely on the kingside play to make this work.
Well, and also that it's going to be like you don't get the d7 square until you take the knight, right? And, or move the knight. And anytime you play f4, then there's going to be counterplay. So yeah, it's a tricky situation. By the way, I was not a fan of queen e7. I wanted queen f5.
Yeah, so that's kind of my feeling. Like, not everyone is really going to be able to, like, play this as actively as black might need to.
Okay, yeah. On the other hand, like, you ask yourself, even if black does play a little passively with queen e7, it's a real hard question if you're white here about just what to do.
Yeah, not the easiest position to win still. I would start with bishop f4, I think. Just so I always have the option of maybe trading the knight and just playing for the d file.
Your student played my first instinct, which is queen d5.
Oh, nice. Wow. Maybe that's much better. I hope it is.
Well, you know, so let's say, like, what first, the clear thing that white can dream of is somehow achieving d4, c5. It's kind of hard to achieve. But in the meantime, it's especially when black played passively with queen e7, it's hard to imagine what black is going to do right now.
Oh, so you think white should just be playing for like rook c1 and b4 c5 or rook d4, something like that?
Depends a little bit what black does. I just want to keep him in his box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I mean, I was thinking, of course, one day in the endgame we'll make this pass pawn, but yeah, for the meantime, I would imagine this is all about restriction and just keeping everything active and maybe going a4, a5 or something and just like kind of chipping away first.
Right. I might even pull up the Wonder Liang game. That game blew my mind. I was like,
yeah.
What? I was like, what? You could do that way?
Let me put this game in the analysis bar. It'd be cool to look at
Sure.
the opening for a bit. Just because. So we had this Caro, and black goes knight f6. And by the way, black's rating here, both players, I mean, their chess.com ratings are like all over the place. I know Noah's around like 1750, 1800 or so USCF. His opponent is probably somewhere in that range. This is like one of the round robin groups, a little bit lower average rating, but definitely seems like a decent player. So c4, c5. What did you think about bishop e2 in this position, Jesse? Or what do you think?
I think it's weird.
I totally got it. I was actually watching the game live when he played it. It's like, okay, he wants to just kind of take with the queen, maybe bring the bishop here. Now that black played c5, he can try to like hit the diagonal. Then he goes knight takes d4. So yeah, I thought the idea was queen d4, but I don't know, maybe bishop c5 or something is annoying there. So okay, we got knight
and that
b5.
was just let's call that insane to allow just to give up your bishop like that.
Yeah. Yeah, black kind of play this a little casually. Maybe a6 or something, or
definitely not queen c7. That's one of the few things I know.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know, your student might end up watching this as well as his opponent. And why don't I pull up this PGM? I found it from last year.
Cool.
I think this game illustrates, I think, some cool ideas of what black can do. And also, like, I think what was a great thing about this game, by the way, it still says, you know, Aaron Pony and NJB, but this is in fact Burke against Liang from last year. Burke is a very strong GM as white. And
yeah.
So Wonder Liang knew that white did not play the advanced variation, and so knew that he could get this position. And check it out. So c3 looks fine. Watch what he does. h5. Look at that move. h5. I was like, oh, mind blown. Mind blown. Because it means that black says, I have the extra pawn over there, and I am the one who has control. You know, and then, you know, later Josh Fidel was telling me, oh yeah, this is all well known. Anyway, right. To me, it was a revelation that black, look at that, h4, thank you very much. Knight d7, let's bring the knight around and watch this next one. Bam, g5, I don't care about anything. Look at that, g5.
No, this is great. I will admit, I mean, when I first saw h5, I had a similar reaction. But I guess it was a while ago now. I feel like it's been around for a couple of years or so.
Anyway, so it pertains to this game because even after black played passively, he still had chances like queen f5 instead of queen e7 to start dreaming of beating the drum on the king side. And I think you kind of eventually need to go there because otherwise white is going to eventually get that passed c pawn, and the bishop will eventually be stronger, much stronger than the knight because the position will open, right? Well, it's going to open even more than it already is.
Yeah.
Well, Vishnu's starting to tank in this major position where, to me, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I just played queen c7, yeah.
Are you still thinking there, huh? Wow.
I got a question, am I an analytic or continental philosopher? I did a little bit of both. I had, you know, I studied on the continent. I was in Germany, so I was exposed to a lot of those people. The guy I did my business under, though, was an analytic, hardcore analytic group. It was just disdain for the continental types. Mostly, especially in hindsight, I feel it is truly an academic debate. And I have a feeling Kosa doesn't know what the difference is between analytic and continental philosophy. And if he doesn't want to know, that's fine. That's fine. You don't need to know that difference.
That's all right. You can have your things.
Yeah, my things. Okay. Mitch is playing. Oh, he's thinking. Now Mitch is the one who's thinking.
So Mitch took on d4, knight c6.
How do you feel about taking on d4 there?
I think it's usually fine.
I would say he shouldn't do it unless he really has to. You're allowing white more ideas now that this has gone down. Like, we're going to get... It is weird, though. It's hard for me to judge. Like, I feel normally in London structures, with the knights not on c3, you do never want to play cd because then you're going to get a Carlsbad structure, right, where white will put his pawn on c3. But now, I don't know. This is, let's just say this. The Obama system was the first time we've seen Mitch under some pressure. I like white's position a little bit better here. Not that he's winning. But I like white's position, and Mitch has definitely got less time, which is that's the first I've seen it happen.
Speaking of, I don't like that they call this the Jobava London. I've mentioned this before. I think it should be called the Jobava Verisov because it's much closer to the Verisov attack in terms of its like style and spirit than it is to the London system. Especially the way Jobava played it, which was like e3 and f3, which is like classic Verisov with the bishop on g5, sometimes playing for e4, sometimes playing for g4, and so on. But they called it the Jobava London probably just for the marketing boost, you know, because people love the London. I think that's why. I think that's...
But isn't it also that after bishop f4, you can kind of see what black does and then maybe go Jobava? You don't have to go full Verisov?
Yeah, you can... After bishop f4, right, you can still go into like a normal London.
Right, and the true Verisov would be knight c3 and then see what black does, and maybe you go bishop g5 depending.
Right, but I think that is how Jobava plays it. I think he usually does start with knight c3, because sometimes he'll go like b3, bishop b2, or bishop f4. I'm happy this didn't catch on. I don't think this can be good. I just don't. I don't like it. I don't know. But it's a separate story. Oh, sorry. I guess I'm just showing it on the stream. But yeah, so Jobava is the one that kind of like plays a similar attacking kind of thing, but with the bishop on f4. So anyway.
Well, let's pull this up here. I'll pull it up on the analysis board.
We did get h6 on the board,
and then a very interesting bishop f3.
Bishop f3, yeah.
So that was kind of like let's talk about that. I thought maybe it's an interesting move. He played it pretty quick, which suggests there's like a setup or something that the guy's got in his head.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because bishop f3 is pretty like that's a decision. That's not like that's not super thematic.
Right. And yeah, I'm not sure. Like, okay, let's just say knight f3 was, of course, the
right
normalish move. And after bishop f3, black has. I can imagine black hurting us in some way here after bishop f3. So two main things pop out to me after bishop f3 is, first of all, you got to worry about this kind of stuff. But since that, I don't think it works right now, because knight d4, queen d4, knight moves somewhere, and then bishop e5. But both queen b6 and bishop f5 seem reasonable to me. And the point of bishop f5 would be to sink a knight on e4 to get the bishop open.
Right.
And yeah. And I assume on queen b6 you're gonna play knight ge2 and then just say that queen takes b2 is nothing, but it looks pretty good to me because the white king has got some creep as well.
Yeah, I think from black's point of view, seeing h6 is kind of nice because, like, at least you know you're not going to get mated.
Right.
Like, you might be worse, but it's basically just going to be playable. I like your plan of bishop f5 and then queen b6. Maybe queen b6 first and then just taking.
Both look plausible all of a sudden, right? Both look like, oh, those are nice positions for black.
Yeah, I'm actually struggling why this would be better for white.
Well, okay, so let's bishop f3 seems strange to me. Let me just try what seemed normal with knight f3.
Yeah, I guess he didn't want to face bishop g4. It kind of feels like what he was worried about.
Why is that a big deal?
It can be a move for black. Sometimes they just take and go e6.
But the point, okay, so I thought what white was going to do with this h6 move was really to now complete his development, castle short, and say that the black king will permanently be just unhappy because of the rock on h6. Nothing major, but just a little bit of unhappiness, you know? That was what I thought, like maybe white got a small plus out of the open. But bishop f3, that's a big tempo. That's a big tempo to give black. And yeah, terrible things might truly happen right now.
I mean, e5 is possible.
Yeah, they've got all kinds of stuff going on. Oh my god. Bishop f3 seems really wrong.
Yeah, more I look at it, it doesn't seem right. I think white had to play knight f3 for better or worse.
Yeah. And what you're saying, I guess, is fair. Is you're saying, well, maybe white's a little bit better, let's say castles, but nothing to write home about.
Yeah, honestly, I would feel really comfortable as black. I think it's because white needs to put the pawn on c3, right? Like really desperately, but it's not that easy.
Okay, let's say 95.
Oh, 95? Yeah, that's always a try. I gotta take.
92.
94?
Maybe you could have done some dastardly thing with taking a knight g4. I don't know if it works. I just wanted to mention it. Just in case maybe somebody's out there being like, "Oh, what's going on?" Cry.
That is pretty annoying. Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, some kind of some level of c3 is gonna happen. Yeah, I guess. I don't know, c3. I'm not a huge fan. Okay, but anyways, that would have been, it seems like how do you evaluate bishop g4, knight f3, bishop g4 is a question for debate. I'm not sure myself, but definitely seems more to the point than bishop f3. And, you know, I did that whole video about how the thing blocking most people's progress is giving up time. And to me, this is a big example of bishop f3, just because I assume, like, there's going to be, even, like, let's say bishop f5, queen b6, e5, all these moves. You can probably even play knight e4 here. All this stuff is possible. And I don't know which one is best, but, like, regardless, any of those moves, black's getting a great position. Any of them. Just because of that one tempo loss with bishop f3.
Yeah, I think black has a nice choice here. We'll see what Mitch does. I feel like he's already... Oh, he's made moves. He's made some moves.
He's made some moves.
Okay, he went e6.
He played this all pretty quickly.
92 b6. Queen d2, bishop a6. Yeah, I can't say I love it, but he might still be... I think white's position, though, is really suspicious. So I think black... Although I don't love what he did, I feel like even this is probably, like, pretty good.
I think, okay, Mitch is going to watch this later. And let's just say this, Mitch. Maybe we think your position is fine here, but you definitely blew a shot.
Yeah.
You blew a shot there. And there's just other moves to think about. And here white is not going to die. He's not toast. The other position, you had various ways to knock him out. This one, I don't know what, I'm going to say close to.
Well, e6 to me just feels like a very, like, strategic, like, this is what I want to do with my structure, but
right.
It kind of feels like the position's actually pretty concrete, and black should just be calculating, like, queen b6, queen takes b2, bishop f5, and, like, knight e4, e5, rook e8, like, so many sharp moves.
Well, right, and the way I would put it too is to say white has one strategic idea, which is that the h6 rock is annoying, and he had a problem with his development, and he needed to fix that problem, and he didn't do it fast enough, and then we didn't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Vishnu's tank. Oh, holy moly. We got to go back. We got to go back to Vishnu's gambling. Holy. Oh, man. We got some real drama on the board here, my friends. Dang. Wow. So Vishnu did not play bishop g7. I mean, the queen c7. Played bishop g7.
Played bishop g7, yeah, after half hour. Knight d5.
Let me just say, a queen c7 winning a tempo, gotta be a good move. And then knight d5 played quickly. Well, like you said, Like you said, Kosti, you kind of understood John Davis's chess personality with the aggression, and that's a real humdinger right there with knight d5.
Yeah. Actually, this is what makes John actually really dangerous, because I'm not really sure if he played this move quickly because he's in prep or because it looked good. And, you know, Black spent 30 minutes on his last move, so he was just kind of like, just thinking, like, what am I going to do here? And
well, what I really like about it is it makes queen c7 difficult. I don't want queen c7 to happen to me.
Makes it really hard, yeah.
All right. Let me try to defend. I'll try to defend his honor, Vishnu's honor. All right. I'm going to grab this. I'll grab the PGN and I'll meet you in our back cave, and I'll try to defend his honor after knight b5.
You're going to try to hold this position?
I'm just going to try to. I'm going to try to play natural moves too. I'm not even going to try the weird stuff. So knight d5. Let's say I do. Yeah, it's a big choice, honestly. There's so. Let's before we even get into it, let's say I can play d6. I can play takes, obviously. Anything else groovy that I can do? I guess that is it, right? We got d6, takes. Some freakazoid might play b5, but I don't really want to do it. All right, Kosti, I'm going to hand the reins back to you, and I'm just going to play d6.
All right, good move.
I don't know if it's a good move. Yeah, I was tempted by ed as well.
So what does white want here? I'm not sure. I'm gonna try let me try f4. The problem, Neil, was d6 in that position. Could be really dangerous.
There's a lot to go on. There's a lot going on all of a sudden. Whew.
Yeah, bishop on c4 would hang. I'm honestly not really sure about that line. I mean, not sure about any of it.
Wow, this is kind of fun. Okay, do I know what's going on? I have no idea. I want to take it. I'm ready to take it. I'm assuming you're going to play ED. And I want to play Queen B6 check. I'm assuming King H1.
Yeah.
And I want to threaten a cheapo with Knight F5.
Oh, this knight's not even pinned? Oh my god.
This one's really hard to imagine because well, Black's minors are pretty active. Right?
You're just getting 97. Yeah, I think I messed it up. I don't think f4 is good. Let me try something else here. I guess I'll try rook e1.
So I don't know. Let's take. I'm assuming ED.
Yeah. F4.
Right. Oh, it's getting a little spicy. Okay, many moves here. Queen d6, f6. See, f6 is my first thought. Let me do f6.
Will I take? I'm gonna go e6.
Okay, interesting. Now, the weird thing about this, of course, is it's unclear what your threat is. I guess queen f3.
F3, yeah.
And then, but even so, like, I get to play queen d6 and other fine things. Okay, so 2 pieces. All
no,
right.
I mean, I feel like I'm just playing for, like, tricks. I don't know.
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah, I don't really believe in white's position.
Because I hear, like, even just b5, right? And I can play queen b6 if I need to. I can go this way, king d8.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't... For one piece, it's good, but for two, it's kind of a lot.
If we were playing Bug House, that pawn on e6 would be worth its weight in gold.
That would be good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it might not be the only way for black to kind of deal with it. I mean, maybe I'm just not seeing white's idea here. Maybe he wants knight f6 check.
I was thinking that was... I couldn't understand knight... It's possible he might play knight f6, but I think both bishop takes and king f8, I don't really know what white has after either of those moves. I might be able to believe in white after bishop takes, bishop takes. Maybe I can.
Right.
Maybe even there, this rook h6, and then what am I doing?
Yeah.
But I think maybe knight f6 would be the hope. And I'll tell you, okay, let's switch it around. Let me play white. I'll play, because that was my intuition. Let's just see if I get anything.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try.
I do think it's a slightly difficult decision for white.
Yeah, I think so too. I guess I'll try king f8 first.
That's makes sense. Okay, so are you threatening to mess with my knight in some way?
I think I just want to go knight e5.
Okay, so let's stop that.
Oh. Alright, I'll try b5.
That makes sense. Get out of dodge. Maybe you could just play like queen d6, queen d4.
Yeah.
You could have done that last move too, I guess.
Yeah, black is a piece up.
That's a piece up.
Yeah, the more I look at it, like black is like, huh.
Let me try it again. Right, but f4, I don't know, it would be a very natural move. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, go. So give me one more try at this weird position. I'm gonna play bishop b3. I know that looks weird.
Sure.
I just want to put the rook there, and I want to.
It's very Smith-Morris style.
Very Smith-Morris, exactly. One thing about that Elijah did not understand is this. What's genius about the Smith Mora is that it is a setup, and all these, you don't really need to learn theory. You just learn some setups.
Yeah, the whole question about whether it's like refuted is like so silly because it's like I don't know, like you could have like your whole repertoire in front of you, you still have to play that position. Like it's it's not like it's always going to be a practical problem. So okay, I think here I would go Queen A5 exclam. Am I allowed to say exclam on my own moves?
Because you want to do like Queen C5, Queen D4 if I play. Okay.
Yeah, I just want the tempo.
I'm only down one piece here, though. I'm only down one. I'm only down one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't got it. Because I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. So that was just like an interesting practical attempt on our part. Vishnu is tanking. He's tanking.
Right. As far as the game goes, you know, who knows what will happen. I mean, I think Vishnu is like going crazy inside right now, just calculating variations, and it is a really tough position from Black's point of view if you're not super confident about the evaluation.
And I think actually I'll say this as someone who used to play the Sicilian, you kind of get used to people throwing wood at you, and so there's kind of an emotional resilience that's built up that I don't think Vishnu has. He's used to having the initiative himself. And Vishnu, you watching this later? If you want to play the Sicilian against some strong people, get ready to suffer, my friend. Get ready for this all day long. All day.
Yeah. No, I mean, people want to kill the Sicilian.
Yeah.
They really do.
Too. They should want to kill the Sicilian.
Yeah, that's what makes it a great opening. It inspires courage and battle.
Well, okay, you know what? Let's take a look at your student.
Yeah, he's in big time trouble.
He did something arguable. I think. By the way, I want to introduce this position. I'm gonna grab it and let's go to our back kick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna introduce this position by saying that personally, I remember having this kind of position when I was a kid, and not having the either patience or understanding to play it. So
yeah, position just got really concrete too.
Rook C7 played on move 23.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just a passive waiting move, and White now goes fully for it, and probably a little wrong-headed.
Honestly, I don't mind C5. I mean, I just feel like you kind of open things up. Now the A pawn is just always under fire, like you actually have a target.
Okay. I just feel like with a move like Rook C7, he's not doing. Yeah, I'm gonna double down on my assessment. With a move like Rook C7, you're not doing anything, and a much stronger attempt for White, simpler would have been A4.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I like A4 as well.
Now, there's probably nothing wrong with C5, but now things are loose.
I imagine it was just induced by like the incoming time trouble, because White feels like they have to kind of do something.
So that makes it worse. That makes it worse. 8-6 is again in this passive mode that I feel like Black doesn't understand the beauty and strengths of his own position. F4, holy moly. And do we understand this? Probably not. Probably not.
Well, I think the players have gone into some concrete lines, so they're both calculating something here. Noah seems confident. I mean, he played F4, probably with this idea. But we'll see. Maybe he overlooked knight takes F4. Definitely possible.
I'm worried for white here. Yeah.
So everything's hanging.
I don't think black's gonna lose the exchange. I don't think. Like queen f3, I have queen. Well, maybe it's more complicated. Maybe it is truly a mess. Well, let's put queen f3 on the board, and just because that's the natural move, and that's what he's thinking about right now. And so the hope for white would be that on queen e5, he's winning after bishop d6, and that might well be true. I'm not sure about that, but that's
or rook c7 first, and then bishop d6 maybe.
Well, no, but then I get out, right?
Oh, you have a check.
I have a check, yeah. And then I'm out and fancy free then.
Yeah.
So, okay, besides queen e5, I guess that's kind of our only move. Yeah, that's our only move, actually, right? So queen e5, bishop d6. Does black have anything?
Well, there's knight e2 check. But then just king h1 and we cover the g3 square via x-ray.
We do cover the... well...
thing. Or no.
Be a little careful. You cannot take that thing.
Rook is hanging. Oh boy.
But I can still go back to g1. And on knight e2, just king f2, right?
Maybe king f2 is better,
yeah. All right. So, this is the question your student's dealing with. Let's see what he did. He did play queen f3.
Nice. Go Noah.
Okay, so we got this. And I assume this is what he's going for. Black really wishes he had played Wonder Liang's g5 earlier.
I don't think he even knows that game.
Well, he did play this variation, e takes f6, which is, I think, it's very topical.
Trendy, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, unless black has something magical here, I don't see any big trick.
Right. I mean, it still feels very much up in the air. You know, one wrong move could spoil it.
For sure, yeah. I think black, his opponent played really fast in this position. He played h6, and he certainly has other moves here besides h6. I would think. I would think he has other moves here besides h6. There's no massive threat, honestly. And f4, arguably superstar move. I mean, if he calculated all this out, it's like, holy smokes, this is some real stuff.
Yeah. I don't get the feeling he did. I'm not sure.
I've got an attempt for black. I don't know if this is going to work. But let's just say that we've in this position after queen f3, if we acknowledge that things have gone wrong, and we play knight e2, let's say king f2. I think that we decided that's where he needed to be. Can I go snip and claim I have some kind of thing close to a fortress?
Definitely not a fortress. I mean, maybe black has like counterplay, but can't imagine the queen side just holds for black, like no problem.
Well, I'm just saying a lot of these positions.
I mean, rook e1, not
the
just
the counterplay will be often sufficient. Okay, rook e1 is very concrete because you're threatening maybe just take.
Yeah, just take everything.
But remember, you are down a pawn, my friend. I got a pawn out of this. This is one of the reasons I think maybe I have a chance to hold. So rook over. I could go to c2, I guess. But...
Yeah. So what happens if we
you
just?
were taking...
Yeah. Yeah. What's going on here?
My gut is that you're not winning this.
Really?
Let's see. King f8.
Okay. King first.
I don't know. It's obviously a counting question.
Go here.
I realize my pawns are a little mangled, but I got an extra one, Ghosted. I got an extra one.
I understand. I just think this just still fall all the same. Let me just try. Let's try b4.
Okay.
Go a4.
Maybe that was too soon, but I did it. That might have been too soon. Yeah, all that for.
Yeah, go here.
That's still pretty spicy.
I think it's good for white still. I go
Your student won, by the way.
Oh.
This obviously didn't happen.
Oh, it's over? Oh
man.
Wow. Crazy.
I'm willing to believe that earlier it was winning, but this one, I don't see what you're doing now.
Let's say go here.
Okay, I want to go
Push.
G4. It's gonna be close. I guess I could have thought about it.
Yeah, no, I have no idea. I don't see how I into this anymore.
Let me go back and just ask you something. We don't want to get too tied up in the pawn ending here, but King D3, King E7. Okay, so your intuition with King D4 was you were going to stay close to my pawns and then push. And that King C4, you were saying. Can I try King C4? Let me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, King C4. I guess black goes here.
And then here, and then we do this. Am I back in time? I don't know. I don't know if I'm back in time. Maybe you're a genius and just let me take it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so it's really not easy for white.
It's not easy, but I am close here. I'm close. Here.
Oh, good game, Pulse. I actually didn't realize you were Aaron Pony. Oh, GG.
Well, let's review his game. We were just, Pulsey, we were just looking at a potential last-ditch attempt at a save for you. And so, yeah, let's go back to the game. We have Queen F3. That's where we left it. And in your game, you did, what did you do? You played something. Oh, and then he blundered with 92. Now, Pulsey, there's one obvious thing you can improve your game on. You can take it a little slower. You take it a little slower because you had, I thought, actually, look what he did. Kose, he did Queen C5, Rook C5, now 92, and the bummer there is then you're just hanging everything.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But like so basically he was very close to my little attempt at a save here, which was 92, and then Smith on C5 as the. I didn't see anything else. Now maybe the computer will find some other way out of this, but I wasn't seeing it. So that's how we got this position, with an attempt at a fortress. Of course, I didn't like that word there. That's where I was going with it.
Yeah, sharp game. I mean, definitely. Pulsey could have spent more time, I think, around this moment just because it's so sharp. And you have an hour on your clock. Your opponent has 6 minutes. Try to find them the trickiest chance here, and or even if you think Queen C5 is good, then yeah, you definitely have the time to double check and make sure and kind of check your calculations to see if you're blundering something. Because I think this one could have been a lot more complicated for White.
Well, right, even in this one too, it's almost like White has to be super careful not for the game even to flip, because there's so many different ways. It's hard. I don't know what to do here for White. I'm with you basically, Posey. I believe that White should win this, but I've seen a lot of positions like this that actually are just not so easy. Now, the reasons I think that White should be able to win this are mostly to do with the fact that the knight is uncomfortable on e2. Right? Where does he go? It's not so easy for the dude to get out.
Yeah. Oh, Noah is saying Queen E5 is equal because on Bishop D6, Knight E2, Black has Queen B2.
Oh, well that feels a little computery to me, Noah, but of course I believe you.
No, he probably just checked after the game.
Right. Yeah. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take Bishop takes C7, and then what? Let's see if our human minds can comprehend this.
Well, there's Knight D4 to start.
Well, that's a big bummer. That's just unfortunate right away.
Oh, apparently Black is winning there. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we didn't see Queen B2 either. It kind of just escaped.
Yeah, totally escaped. And let's say the obvious, Noah, you were in time pressure, so we're not going to criticize too much, but this move, F4, I liked what I said here. That, by the way, no, what I said earlier was that this position I found as a kid hard to play, this kind of position, where you clearly have a nice positional edge. And the move A4, I think, is pretty instructive because you're giving Black nothing. The guy gets nothing, and you're just going to increase the pressure. You'll play A5. And Black has made several passive moves already. Yeah, I think that's what and it's just that whenever you play F4, things are going to hit the fan. Right? They're going to go crazy whenever you play F4.
Right. Hey, we got the game with Strong Chess started.
Oh, great. Yeah. Can we put a link to that in the...
Put that up. Yeah, absolutely.
And Vishnu, let's go on this update where you're doing that. Vishnu is tanking hard. And oh, holy moly.
Oh, boy. So he did take the second piece, yeah.
Now, just bear in mind, Kostya, there on move 13, I did not want, or move 12, I did not want to take on d5 precisely because this gave me the heebie-jeebies. d6 business.
Yeah.
It might still be winning for Black, or better for Black, or okay for Black, but it doesn't look pleasant.
Right. Mm-hmm. Definitely not. But we'll see. We will see. Yeah, very romantic style of chess.
Yeah. Take that, Elijah Lobazar. Take that. I got to play Mark Esserman some Blitz in Smith & Moore. And I just played my boring stuff, where I take the pawn and play like d6 and then eventually e5. And he found some tricks that make it spicy. We had some nice games.
Mm.
That was like after he published his beautiful book, which is the Bible.
Right, absolutely.
Well, should we take a look at Mitch's game here?
Yeah, we can catch up with Mitch. I mean, this position here is crazy. I guess we'll see
Yeah,
what Vishnu does, and we can come back to it.
yeah. Let's do a Mitch update, and then we'll come back. I'm starting. What I don't know exactly what happened in the last couple moves with Mitch's game. Why don't you run through them? I like what White's done.
Yeah, he's organized his position. He's castled queenside. Very solid position for black, like against the two bishops. He's got the structure, but bishop on g7, yeah, is a tough piece to evaluate.
Maybe the more I look at it, I still think black is totally fine. I mean, but what we just stress is that black has, or white has at least finished his development. That was one of the things I was worried he wasn't going to be able to do. But I'm assuming, like right now, Mitch should play b5.
I was thinking b5. I almost said it. Damn.
Well, why does John have? Okay, we're asking about Vishnu's team. Why does John have an hour in the other guy's tournaments? Because Vishnu has been tanking, and John played an intuitive sacrifice that I think was probably just completely unsound. But like with the tall combinations, when you're put under some pressure, you start seeing all kinds of ghosts and whatnot, and
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can really go crazy on defense. You start thinking about like, okay, what's best here, but what's going to be the easiest? Oh, but is Jesse going to call me a chicken if I don't take the second piece? Especially when you're on stream, I think, and you know people are watching you. I think you can get a lot of, I would call them, let's say, secondary thoughts affecting your judgment.
It's different. I mean, I feel like I've played a lot of tournaments where the game was broadcast live. That hasn't bothered me that much, but maybe stream is a little different, just because there's more guys talking smack. There's just more guys talking smack.
No, I mean it's really tough. I was 0-5 against Lawrence Trent in front of like 3,000 people, and Vida, very politely finding ways of saying that I'm not playing good or fast. But I think it's easier over time.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pull this. Let me pull this up in the back cave coast and let's talk about this. It's time for this stage of the broadcast. My button's crossed. Here we go. Okay. So let's go to the back cave, and let's just say in this position after knight d5, me and Costa looked at b6. It seemed like white did not have enough. Vishnu boldly took on ed, and then white immediately played d6. Very thematic. These are all old ideas that come out of the Najdorf and other openings, and you're just nailing him here. And I'll tell you what, I'll play the guinea pig, so I'll be black. Okay, and I'm just going to take your bishop. I feel like we've come this far, we better take your bishop.
Yeah, let's see. How would... okay, first instinct was bishop takes.
Bishop takes, rook e1 is another thought.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I just want to checkmate the king.
The body count is that I am down 2 pieces.
Let's not keep score. Yeah, let's just...
No one's keeping score. No one's keeping score. I believe in white here, honestly. Yeah, you're going to play, and honestly, you could have played rook e1 too. Might have been very similar, but bishop e7 gotta be a joy.
But is it? I mean, if black goes like queen b6, I don't know what I'm doing. Like knight e5 next, then f6.
Oh, well, we can try. Yeah, rook e1.
All right.
Knight e5. Rook c1 looks good. I'm just going to put the pieces in their natural squares. I'm not doing anything fancy. Oh boy, howdy, yeah, this is...
I'll go here.
Oh, I'm going to take that in a heartbeat. Rook e5.
Oh. I missed something?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I am threatening mate, though. I do want to stress that I am threatening mate.
One mate, I mean.
It was just one mate. So maybe... Oh, yeah, this is scary.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm definitely not terrified. I'm very concerned as black. I'm not horrified yet.
Oh, this is like Darth Vader would be saying, you will be. You will be scared, my friend. This is terrible.
Wait, I don't understand. How am I supposed to get the extra pieces out?
You got it. That's what I'm trying to say. This is terrible. This is terrible.
Wait, without these pieces, I don't like my position at all.
Well, and your queen isn't really on the defense either. This is terrible. Okay, let's go back and not take on c4. All right, I'll take responsibility for knight takes c4 to say no way.
That's true, but that was kind of the most interesting move. Yeah, a lot of people are suggesting f6 in this position.
Let's play f6.
Which might be good. I was actually kind of skeptical about this one too, to be honest. But let's see.
I see we're taking this. The truly romantic way. You're going to do whatever you can do, but the truly romantic way, I think, is to play bishop b3, sack the thing on g5, and then intend like rook e1, rook e5 in the same business that we had in the last position.
How about rook e1?
Okay, rook e1. All right, okay, rook e1, good. So... This is pretty epic. Okay, can I live with this position?
Let's see, 4.
So on rook e7, I'm just going to take it and then take on g5. That's my hope. I don't know if that works, but that's my hope.
What about queen d3?
That's good. But I can do knight d6, right?
Oh, knight d6. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's a lot of wood, though. I'm not sure about queen d3. Like, what? Why was that an epic move?
Oh, I was thinking knight e5, take bishop e7.
Oh right, yeah.
And we're good. But knight d6, I wasn't really sure about. I was also hoping here for fg. I was thinking rook e5.
Right. No. I think that exactly.
F3.
That's what you should be hoping for. Yeah. And then something like that should be devastating.
I thought this was cool.
Definitely was cool.
So f6, rook e1, knight takes c4. Okay, yeah, that's still the line to beat. Let's see.
Maybe rook e7 anyway, and just claim that you are going to make it downtown before I make it there.
I guess we can take a look.
And then I assume I'm taking that guy, yeah.
Okay, we need a big double attack, guys. We need big double attack.
Well, but also you could just say, like the last time, that I have to get my guys out, and it's not the easiest thing for me to get my dudes out. So I don't know if you necessarily need to go attack.
Queen d3, knight e5, that's the problem. I'm thinking queen g4. No, I don't know. Yeah, it's still super concrete, so it's hard to say. Intuitively feels like, okay, 4 pieces should be enough. But you never know.
That pawn in e7 is making my king really uncomfortable. I'll play queen g4. I'll try to defend white's valor here. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure who I'd rather be here.
Okay, I need to get those rooks out.
So what? 95? I don't know.
Thinking. Yeah, let's play 95.
I don't know. I guess here's where you can here's where you can prove it to me. If you have some good move to fix your stuff, then maybe I'm just toast.
Well, I guess king f7, I was thinking.
Just intending like bishop f6, right?
Bishop f6, yeah, d6, I think.
Okay, rook d1.
I'll go here.
I gotta take that thing. Full spicy spice. Oh man, what is happening here?
I think pieces are good.
Your pieces are amazing. Yeah.
Just think,
Whew. So yeah, some kind of thing like this could be in our future. We do have moves on the board.
Yeah.
Let's go back here. So we got, what happened here? Oh, it's so
queen went to a5, not to b6, and then rook e1.
Knight c4, bishop e7, queen a5, and then rook e1. So it's very similar to what we were looking at. And the intention, I guess, of queen a5 is just to have a little bit more swing. Might be a good move. Because, yeah, queen a5 might be, at least it has got good intentions, because at some point I might force the queens off with queen h5.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I think queen g4 instead of rook e1, maybe black goes queen e5.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, even takes on d6 at some point. So that's probably the problem.
Okay, I'm going to promote this. This is a great game.
Rook e1. Yeah, one for the ages.
One for the ages. Oh, you know what I didn't do? You posted it long ago, I'm assuming. I did not catch the strong chess game. Did you post that in the...
Oh, yeah. I think I put it in. I can put it in again.
Okay, no, I've got it here too, son. Got all of these. So we'll come back to that. We'll come to Todd's game in a second. This is too exciting.
That game has a lot of action left, right?
So, let's say after rook e1 that black just plays queen h5. It's probably not. Oh, I did it on the wrong board, of course. But let's say I do it on our analysis board instead and play queen h5.
Yeah, where's white's check?
Yeah.
Okay, let's say we go bishop f6.
King f8, obviously.
Take on g7. Queen d4.
Good. King G6.
Okay, and now we're just in quiet move territory, so maybe like H3 or...
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Right, and there we're just going to say beautiful, full compensation, and much easier to be white here. Oh my God, the bishop on C8 is so bad.
Yeah,
probably lost.
Rook's Rook's coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like the quiet approach. So Rook E1, and Vishnu's tanking after.
But see, this is the problem with the approach, that now he just has no time. I mean, like, this position has to be just winning for him to close out this game. If it's still going to be complicated, like, he's just on the verge.
Well, how about this? Let me do a very natural move with knight E5.
Sure. What would John do?
That could be the name of our next album. He's got at any point, Rook C1 isn't a dumb thing to do.
Definitely. C1.
Even though it's a little bit unclear what exactly we're doing. John could play B4 too. There's moves.
B4, yeah, I was thinking Queen E2, F4.
And one thing actually for Vishnu, he's going to be one later. When white has so many different moves, oh man, you're going to need to think about whichever one he does, because the game is not going to be over, right? The game is not going to be over, whether you play knight E5 or whatever it is. It's just going to keep going. He did play Queen H5, so I guessed it. I guessed Vishnu's move.
Oh wow, nice.
And I liked, there might be better than that Bishop F6 thing that you did, but that was very pleasant because the Bishop F6 thing was you just got rid of the queen trade and said, I don't mind being down the piece. I feel great about life. I liked your Bishop F6. That was good, huh? Like I said, there might be other things, but yeah, and this is where our attacking player, John Davis, these guys got loads of time.
Right.
It's very hard actually to transition from moving quickly and having your opponent tank to you becoming the tanker. And for sure, John should spend 10 minutes on this move.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. Doris asking about Queen B3. And it seems insane because, well, the bummer is not so much, well, it's also that you're losing on H2, but also because he kicks your king out to say E2, the king is going to get in the way of the rook. It's just not something I don't want to do.
Yeah, kind of hard to believe. Definitely not like a stupid idea, but hard to believe.
One hilarious thing, too, is the black position is arguably so tied up that maybe you could even go into the ending. That's really hard to imagine, but you know what I mean, right? Like it's tied down. Things are tied down.
Take Rook C1, yeah. We've seen it happen. I mean, there's that Polgaevsky game where he puts this pawn on E7 for like a full rook.
Right? Yeah, there's a lot of examples like that.
Yeah.
Well, should we take a look at Todd's game?
Sure, yeah. I'm just in fantasy land here. I'm looking for ways. I bet John is the same.
I think your Bishop F6 was nice and cool and calm. I love it.
Yeah, that looks good, yeah.
It might not be his nature though, because he wants to kill people. It's clear that the man has been out for blood, and your approach was very simple and clean. So hard to say if it's actually going to work. Okay.
All right, but yeah, we'll let him think. we can check in with Mitch. Oh yeah, go for it.
Oh, I was going to do with Todd here, just to run through this game.
Yeah,
the plug I want to give is Kostya and Todd have been doing Normal. They're a pretty cool show. And perhaps a little bit under Kostya's influence, Todd has been playing, well, no, I guess he was already a violent player, playing high-level theory with Sicilian and the King's Indian before. I like this Knight C6 variation. I like this A6. And okay, here we go.
So he spent quite a bit of time on Knight A5. Not exactly sure why.
Because White is trying to trick him here with this move order, and maybe kind of sort of, no, I don't. I mean, after C5 DC, Black is totally fine after Knight takes C6 here, right?
Yeah, I guess, right. So I guess that's why I'm confused. Usually White plays either D5 in this position and then goes for like Knight D2 setup, or they play B3 where they don't usually go D5 until later. They go like Bishop B2, Rook C1, maybe Knight D5 or D5. So he kind of combines systems, and then Bishop G5 is definitely anti-thematic.
Right, and the guy maybe either knows everything here and we're the idiots, or he's blitzing, because Todd is the only one who's thought, and this guy's playing pretty quickly.
Yeah, he played really fast.
And let me ask you about this Rook C1 on move 12. As a King's Indian player, don't you just automatically just play H6 there and see what the guy does?
Yeah, H6 is very typical, I would say. I mean, it's not an automatic move because we might have to give the tempo back with Queen D2 later, but maybe...
Not really. That bishop doesn't have any great score.
Like, I think White puts the bishop on F4 at first.
Yeah, and if you ever play Queen D2, I'm going to G5 you.
So G5, Knight G4, yeah.
Anyways, that was just my impression of this position and why I feel like it's totally fine for Black.
Yeah, I think Black should be okay. I've never seen the bishop on G5 in this line, like almost never.
Right, it doesn't make sense.
There are variations, but the structure, like in the Fianchetto, is just like different than this one. So
do you approve of this B5 break?
Well, I mean, it was Black's whole idea with A6, Rook B8, so I think it makes sense. I mean, to me, it feels like a Marazzi where White just hasn't even played E4 yet. So if Black can go V5, then
it's weird. I feel like maybe he is going through rote motions with B5.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, after B5, couldn't White claim that after, say, CB, AB, Bishop H6, maybe I'm a little bit better there? Stress the maybe on that one.
I think it's balanced, but playable. I mean, bishop on G2 always gives White some long-term pressure.
You see what I'm saying, right? Like the pawn on B5 is, and the opening of the C file is not necessarily a friend to Black in this position. And we get rid of the bishop on G7 now.
Yeah.
This seems like a small advantage for White now, I must say. That's my gut after bishop H6. Whereas, after this position with, say, 12 Rook C1, I think Black is beautiful, especially after H6.
Yeah, maybe H6 was kind of an important miss then. Because why not? Yeah, why allow White play Queen D2, Bishop
and the
H6?
problem for White is this bishop on G5, that you run the thing out of squares. It doesn't have any natural home.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is the exact issue with Bishop G5, just H6. There's no Bishop G3 ever. Yeah. But White instead gets Queen D2, and actually now this feels very comfortable, this position, after Queen D2. Like Bishop H6, Rook D1. Everything suddenly makes sense.
Right, and B5, I'm not sure. I mean, like you said, it's kind of like what he wanted to do, but it was a different, that it's a different structure when B5 comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And now, anyways, White played Rook FD1, which might be a blunder because of B4.
Whoa. B4.
b4, I said. And I don't know what. Todd just played h5, bro.
H5 is strange. Yeah, I'm not sure what.
Is that for real? What's going on?
Yeah, H5 I don't get.
What's going on? Okay, Kostya, first, before we talk about h5, let me just ask a question. What was wrong with b4 here? That's the thing I don't understand. I'm just doing great after b4 because I'm going to play knight e4 next. I'm going to get your beauty dark square bishop.
Oh, I don't think he saw knight e4.
And maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, but it looks like b4 is like, yeah.
Wow.
That's why I wouldn't want to play rook fd1 anyway.
I don't think he saw that was a threat. I don't think either player saw that. I didn't see that until he played b4.
Okay, but before I congratulate myself too much, it wasn't the most complicated thing, right?
I don't know. It's just this doesn't come up often where you play knight e4, just like forking queen and bishop. Like,
okay.
Like in this line, it's not really a thing. But no, totally. I don't know.
Bishop g5 is not a thing either. But
yeah.
Okay, so now we got to go deep in the cycle. It's either mouse slip terror, but it's weird because you wouldn't play h6 here. So how would the mouse slip work? Like, what piece are we talking about?
No, I think he definitely meant to play h5. I mean, he spent a lot of time on it, so he probably just didn't know what to do. He definitely didn't see b4, knight e4. I think if he sees that, he would play that.
He thought for 17 and a half minutes on h5.
Yeah, I just didn't know what to do.
Whoa. But okay, so let's go deep on this. Is the intention like knight h7?
That is a King's Indian move, knight h7.
It is so weird that if you're thinking of kicking the bishop in any way that you wouldn't think of b4. Like, I feel like maybe I'm missing something because it's so obvious. h5 is a really weird move, man. Sometimes, you see there's at all levels. The really weird moves happen when somebody thinks for a very long time.
No, I totally agree. It's like a sign, yeah, that they are just like, they didn't know what to do. They were thinking a lot. So that's why they were thinking. They didn't know what to do. And then you end up, you just play whatever move you don't hate in the moment.
Yeah, h5, man. What a weird move. Huh. I don't get it. You're his coach, buddy. You would have to break it down for us. What's going through the guy's soul when this happens?
I think he's just keeping it flexible because he doesn't know what to do. I think he might also be a little bit intimidated by the speed of his opponent, like how quickly he's playing, and so h5 seems like a move where it's like, okay, if you're gonna blitz, I'm just gonna wait for you to like blunder.
More like after h5, you could say to yourself, "Well, I know we're out of book now." Okay, we got to go to Vishnu's game, buddy. I got to pull this up on the back cave. We got some crazy.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Actually, we'll be doing Norm Hunter tomorrow, most likely.
Yeah.
So
we're not done with the video. We're gonna come back around. So here we go. This is some madness, some truly amazing moves. As expected on Queen h5, he did not play your very simple Bishop f6, which I like, but rather f3. And to me, that's, I mean, okay.
Feels wrong. Yeah.
Maybe it's an amazing move. But what I'm seeing is he's saying, if you take, I'm just going to play king f2, and there are no checks, and you are toast. That would be the claim. Mm-hmm. Whether that's true or not, it seems like that's the claim. Might be true. Might be true.
But Vishnu gives queen c5 check, which I think tactically makes sense, forcing white over to h1.
But now there's no queen exchange, and the king is going to, after like a move at some point like h3, we're in the clear.
Maybe.
Now, by the way, I like your move a lot. I'm just saying that maybe this is just also a way of doing business here with f3. It's the move of a guy who really wants to hurt black immediately, right? He's saying you got nothing. I want to keep the queens on the board. I want to keep my bishop on e7 on the board. Oh, maybe it's genius love. John Davis is moving very quickly. Very quickly. Here we go.
Is he already moved?
Well, he played King H1.
Vishnu is thinking here, right?
And they were really 90-30, right? So they do get 30 seconds, I think.
Mm-hmm. All right, how about bishop d4 in this position for black?
All right. You're I feel like you're trying to trick me with rook h2, but I don't think you're threatening rook h2. And can't I just play bishop f6?
Well, bishop f6, I'll go king f8.
But I'm taking on d4.
Oh, you're taking on d4. That's a bummer. Okay. That doesn't work. 93 played.
93, okay.
Oof, this looks... Black is stretched. Black is really stretched.
Yeah, he's stretched.
This is dangerous.
So, Queen d2 comes to mind, of course. Queen b3, that was a move that was earlier mentioned. Makes some sense.
I think rook c1 is a thing too.
Like rook c1 right now?
Yeah, I mean there is rook h2. We got to be careful, but.
Well, here's an interesting thought. Maybe on queen b3, which is at least the most natural move. Black could think about queen h5, h3, and then knight g2. I got a lot of question marks on that one, but that's at least a thought.
Oh, what's going on?
And the good news for John Davis is the guy is tanking after 93. He should. You got to watch out for little tricks like his knight g2.
Yeah.
Now, one amazing thing, Kostya, is like in this position, maybe white is still winning if you even just take the knight. I know that seems anti-intuitive. Maybe it's just wrong, but the point is obvious, right? Like, my king is going to run. You don't have any guys to mate me. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. Well, yeah, you're still... But I don't want to do it. I really would rather avoid this because I never want... It's not so much my king... Even if my king doesn't get mated, I don't really ever want to block my beautiful.
Yeah, because here black goes like b5 and...
Yeah, something like that. I don't want any part of it.
Right.
So, but that's the issue with queen b3, the natural queen b3. On queen d2, maybe he's dreaming about queen d4 or something like that.
How about one sec, queen b3, queen h5. Can we go bishop h4?
Okay, let's try it out. Bishop h4. I like that one. Yeah, that's simple and strong. It feels like queen b3 can't be wrong, right?
It looks so good, yeah. I mean,
it looks so
hits
good.
b6 and the knight and f7 for some reason feels nice.
Yeah. Well, I like your move there, bishop h4. I don't really have any great... I mean, just for the sake of argument, let's say bishop b4.
Well,
I assume I'm lost here. I just want to say,
yeah, it definitely feels that way.
I mean, rook e3 should be the default move.
Right, let's just do that.
And I gotta run this way.
It feels like we can even go like bishop g3 or g3 and.
Exactly. Yeah, like here at any point, move the bishop to f6 and then play h3, or just bishop g3. Gotta be. Well, we're down a rook, but so what? So what? Yeah, that looks pretty. The bishop g3 right there is pretty good. Hard to imagine that black's gonna survive this thing.
Yeah, it's just like here.
Yeah, bring in the dogs.
There's bishop e5.
Yeah, really nice.
Ooh, we got moves. I think John is just playing this way too fast. You gotta slow down because White's position is probably good, but you gotta be accurate. So easy to miss something too.
Okay, so queen e2 was played instead. And let's go here. Promote queen e2.
Then bishop e5.
Pretty quickly, because the dude has no time. And let's play the obvious move, h3, right? Let's just see what happens. Let me just say the disappointment of queen e2 is I don't want to take the knight with my queen. I want to take it with my rook.
Right.
But the position is so funky here from black that it should still be winning.
Well, maybe black just goes f6.
Okay, let's try f6. Rook ac1.
Yeah, queen d4.
There's big questions here, like knight d5 maybe, intending some weird knight f4 stuff.
Queen f4.
F4, hello, Yeah, so this is it's not so easy all of a sudden. John Davis thing, bishop e5. The guy, holy moly. John Davis, man, he just played h4. He doesn't care.
h4.
Look at that move, man. Quickly, too. Quickly. Now, one thing I wanted to announce here, one thing I'm going to try to push Coach Jim David to do is, we've been doing this Title Tuesday thing, and I want to do some Title Tuesday training where you practice playing with that increment, so that it's like 3-0 is so different from the Title Tuesday thing, which is 3-1.
Yeah.
And the difference comes out here where I think John Davis is trying to push Vishnu over the edge. But he's got 30 seconds, man. You can live a lifetime on 30 seconds.
Absolutely. Vishnu is strong enough to, if he's a piece up and no counterplay, he'll win that.
Yeah, I mean, even if he wasn't a strong player, you'd still be like, holy moly, the guy, trying to win on time is not going to work with 30-second increment.
Yeah.
Now, unless I'm wrong about the 30-second increment, because they can agree to whatever thing they want, but I think...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it should be plus 30. Okay, we got knight f5 on the board. I'm just going to go to the live position. Knight f5, definitely one of the first moves that came to mind. But, yeah, concretely, I'm not sure. Like, I think queen takes e5.
But Vishnu is just going to take on e7 after it's all done, right?
So take on e7, rook e7, king f8.
Here I got. Let's do it on the back cave board. So knight f5, queen e5.
Yeah, you got to worry about knight g3 check there. So any move that doesn't deal with that is going to be a problem.
Say I don't know whether I want to play rook e7 or pawn takes, but let's start with rook takes. Both king moves are possible, honestly. Oh, but my h4 pawn's going to hang. That's a bummer.
No, but if king d8, maybe white just goes g3.
Yeah. You know what, though? This is a bummer for white. This is not what he wanted. I feel like both king f8 and d8 are playable.
Playable, but, I mean, no, definitely not what he wanted. But I think white is still be kind of okay here. I feel like...
Let me try king f8. I don't see it yet for white.
Oh, I go here.
h4 pawn is hanging.
Yeah.
And rook h6.
Okay, let's try rook d1.
Rook d6.
Ooh.
You don't want to. I mean, that's not what you wanted. By the way, I played some of these moves. Maybe you don't want to do them. Let's go back to knight f5. So I'm with you. Like, it's so scary that what are we going to do besides queen e5?
Yeah, maybe right. Maybe the endgame's actually... I didn't realize d6 would just be hanging in every line. I definitely don't want to take with the pawn on e7.
Right? Yeah, it doesn't help.
So...
Snap. And by the way, like, let's just say the obvious, then Vishnu gets, like, if he's got 30 seconds to move, he just, through that sequence, he gained, like, I don't know, 3 minutes or something.
Yeah, I think black is definitely holding. So Vishnu doing well.
I have to say, for the romantic in me, real bummer. And I think, I have at least one student who similarly loves to play with the initiative, but has a hard time when it comes to really digging and thinking concretely about what's going to happen. And there are actually, it's rare that you get an attacking position that just plays itself.
Right.
Sometimes it happens, but it's rare, and so that's just going to murder the beauty of your games, because something like this happens, and all of a sudden black is better.
Yeah, at some point you need a deep calculation to crown your game with some kind of combination. Usually, I mean, most players aren't going to, like strong players, they're not going to go down without a fight. They're going to force you to find something pretty convincing.
Let's Dora's saying the queen e2 seemed bad. It seemed bad to me too. Let's just double check the queen d3, because I just realized maybe Vishnu had grand dreams playing bishop e5 in that position.
Maybe. Hey, Paspawn, thanks so much for the gifted subs. Paspawn always comes through every Sunday.
That's right. So right, bishop e5 maybe.
Bishop e5 could be a try, absolutely.
I still want to play h3. I really don't want to play h4 if I have to do anything at all. And I think I do, because if I play rook e3, that guy can at least, well, let's check. So rook e3, rook h2, king g1, and at the minimum, it's pretty complicated.
I'm still looking white. Like bishop f4, bishop g5 check. Bishop takes, bishop takes.
How about bishop d4, so instead of bishop f4?
Sure.
Just to keep it in. Oh, I guess you could still play bishop g4. I guess you could still do bishop g4.
I can also take on h2, yeah.
And pretty hard to say what's going on here.
I think black might be in trouble.
I think he might be in trouble, yeah, because the rook will show up on e1 very soon, as long as we don't get mated or anything.
Yeah.
So right, and let's look how fast John Davis played.
Maybe rook e1.
Queen e2. He did think about it for 4 minutes. So it wasn't like he didn't think about it at all. Guy's got an hour though. He's got an hour plus. Plus on the board.
Well, we got that endgame on the board.
Oh wow, they're playing super fast. And Vishnu got the time, so he's up to 4.5. G3, B5, and so Rook H6, I think, stronger than B5, but Yeah, so white just played king h2, and again, rook h6 from Vishnu here, I think is going to be a strong opportunity. Right, rook h6, what a bummer. What a bummer. This is so
yeah, especially because, well, even with the pawn on b7, if rook e1 takes check and rook c1, black had rook c6 in both lines.
Right.
And saves, among other things, maybe rook d2.
Right.
But yeah, I get the feeling now John is kind of in swindle mode. He's just trying to, but I still think even in this endgame, white is going to have some different moves that might make it harder for black to convert it. So it's definitely still worth like thinking it through. And it's not easy to be Vishnu here. I think what makes it easy is when white plays quickly and then Vishnu can just kind of get into this rhythm. But if white starts spending like 5 minutes on his move, 10 minutes on his move, and then Vishnu just has to sit there with 3 minutes on his clock, that's unpleasant. And I think then white is more likely to maybe find some swindle or some trick.
I think also Vishnu just hasn't seen rook h6. He would have played it on the last move for one. Right?
Yeah.
So he hasn't seen it, and then now he's thinking about all the terrible things that are going to happen after bishop b7, rook d7, bishop f3, and then wondering, those rooks they're going to start.
Yeah, rook f1. Yeah, calculating
all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's.
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say.
He found it.
Nice.
He found it. Rook h6. Yeah, he did it.
I got the feeling he was. Because bishop b7. I don't know. I think you don't want to play this move. So you look around like, okay, what else can I do? And then rook h6.
There you go, rook h6. Oh man, John Davis, man, you had him. And look, he played rook ae1 very quickly, and unfortunately, it's just that rook on h6. It's a big pawn, and it's a great defensive piece too.
How about what if white had tried rook d1, the intention of rook d6, rook f7,
okay,
takes c6. Would this be like super easy for black to win?
I think so, yeah. Because we can play king e7.
Right. Let's say we do
bishop b7 next.
So I go like rook d3, bishop b7. I play g4.
Oh, you're not even close though, right?
I don't know. I sometimes I have a hard time understanding what exactly is the setup. Is black just trying to stop the pawns? Is black trying to race? Like, what does black want to do?
For example, right now, rook c8, and then immediately.
Well, let's say like h5.
Okay, yeah. You're fighting. That's good. Okay, let's go rook c2.
Right. King g3.
Snip it off.
I guess h6.
And now I need to get a little worried. Yeah, I need to get a little worried. So if rook b1, I'm assuming you're going to do like king g2.
That would be the annoying move. Yeah, maybe we have something else.
Oh, okay, good. No, that's at least the problem. He's kind of going for that vein in the game as well. But in the game, unfortunately, like the f-pawn is not gone, and
he wants to keep 2 rooks, but yeah, black can go rook e6 at any moment.
Yeah, rook e6 is a real bummer. Oh, it's a real bummer, isn't it? Yeah, that one's got to be lost.
Kind of a shame. I think this could have been, a really brilliant game from John.
Yeah, it could have gone down in the book of Chess Dojo Greatest Wins in Life.
It was good, heroic defensive effort, I would say. Game might have a different story at the end. But there's still a lot to go. I mean, Vishnu has 2 minutes on his clock.
Right.
It's easy to panic.
Oh, let's check out Mitch's game.
Yeah, we should go back. We were looking at this one around here, and he did play b5. He did it. d7. White started pushing on the king side, b4. correctly, puts his king on a1.
I think queen. I'm gonna go ahead and say queen f4. Move 18 does not feel right to me.
Well, he just had to go back anyway. Yeah, so I think you're right.
And what he's doing there with queen f4 is there's something in his mind is telling him that he's attacking, and he needs to understand that he's not attacking. He has to consolidate on the queen side, right? So that was the move where he needed to find something clever, like knight c1 to d3, something, some kind of consolidating maneuver.
No, definitely. I mean, this is the big Carlsbad square, the d3 square for the knight.
That's right. That's your favorite square. That's right. And it was, making the b4 push a little harder too.
Yeah.
Now maybe I think black probably is fine anyway, but let's just say something obvious. The bishop on f3, not only was it not our favorite move, but right now it's just a rock.
Not our favorite piece, yeah. No, I think black is doing great. I think he's on the verge of breaking through. I mean, e5 could be coming, and this is very, very dangerous for white.
And white with the two moves, they say mistakes come in pairs, right? Queen f4 and g4. G4 suggests that he is going after the black king as well. The whole thing, once you play h6, you're just playing for positional stuff. You're not playing to mate him directly anymore, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So this was almost good. Now the knight on c4, that's a big deal. It should be just winning. And white's got multiple pieces that make no sense. And the bishop on h8's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, actually already queen a5 might be a very sneaky move for Mitch, because I feel like black threatens rook c6, and then queen takes a2 might actually start to come up in some lines. Maybe not. Maybe it's hard to make it work, but...
Well, and let's just say the more obvious thing is to play e5 very soon. Oh, man.
Yeah, e5 as well. Would that be working? Check. I think it's super close.
Yeah, it's super close.
But okay, rook a6 also is going to be...
So this is let's just remind people, this is where Mitch won the warrior group, which is around people around 19 to 2200. And now he's playing in the master group, right?
That's right.
Holy moly, he's doing better than holding his own in this time. I think Mitch is like the poster boy for chess improvement at a later age, right? He's bringing it. He's bringing it, man.
No, absolutely. I mean, he's really been crushing it on Chessable for a while. He's built up a reputation of being king of Chessable and doing like a ton of training there. But now he's been working hard. I would like to encourage him to work more on his calculation and studying the game and trying to get deeper into it. But he's really impressed as far as the tournaments are concerned. All right, so Vishnu managed to trade off one pair of rooks, and in this position could go rook c8, rook e8. Yeah, I think he's very much in control. Should win this one. And then Hacker versus Todd. Let's see, queen d2, b5,
God,
h5.
That h5 move was so disturbing. So what you're gonna have to do as a coach tomorrow on the show is you seriously have to go deep into his. It's like you got to put him on the couch about h5. No, in all seriousness, that's like some deep stuff. I mean, I guess we've all done some weird moves, but you got to get in there and understand what brought him to that event.
Yeah.
Really bizarre.
Yeah, it is a weird move, but it did cause White to actually start thinking for the first time in the game. It finally got White off of his out of his comfort zone. And so what we got was knight h7, so that was the idea, knight h7.
That was the idea, when we eventually just deduced that must be his idea.
So yeah, this is wrong, mainly just because, I mean, it just pushes White to do something that he kind of wanted to do already with queen d2 and bishop g5.
And maybe one obvious thing to say, and I have a thing, when you put him on the couch, this is what I'm going to think he's thinking, is that we have looked on the show, and I'm sure you've talked about it, about positions where it's not advantageous for white to trade the bishop. And you had a great quote that I liked a lot, Costa, where you said, I want to devise an opening repertoire where it's not good for white to trade bishop on g7. And so this whole thing, when he plays h5, knight h7, it's like he's demanding that white do this. But in this position, I think it's a good position for him to trade the thing off.
Yeah, no, I mean, if anyone has dark square weaknesses here, it's black. And so I think that's...
And if anyone's king is better, it's white, too. But get rid of that thing. And
no, clearly better.
Focus on the wedding, you know. I didn't like knight e1, but whatever.
Honestly, it's fine. Yeah, I definitely take white here. My first thought would be maybe just knight d5. Kind of simple. Activating and not really allowing black to play knight f6, maybe inducing e6, but...
Yeah, knight d3 I'm certain is a good one.
Knight d3, yeah. Yeah, looked good. So Hacker, good position, good time. We'll see what he does with it.
Let me ask you a question. So, Kosi, you're saying, and this is like a public service announcement. We're going to get into it here, but Kosia is going to put up a vid soon.
Yeah, let's plug stuff.
Play Puzzle Rush.
That's right.
So break it down for us. How do you do Puzzle Rush well?
Well, I'm working on a guide, an ultimate guide to Puzzle Rush. It'll be out this week. We actually have a lot of videos coming out that we should talk about. And it's just going to break down a couple of things. I'll talk a little bit about like why I think it's useful, but mainly how to use it to get better at chess. Like how I think you should be using Puzzle Rush, and also give tips for like how to improve your score. But mainly, of course, the idea is all about chess improvement. So how to use Puzzle Rush to improve your chess. And I'm just going to give people tips on what I think is like important to study and think about. I'm going to show some really like some typical examples of problems in Puzzle Rush where there's some move order trickery that you have to learn to figure out, or there are some complications. Basically, I want to teach people how to orient themselves to a new position and try to figure out like what are they looking for, how to spot tactics, how to increase their speed, basically everything they need to know. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about like what kind of mouse to get.
So when we're doing this, we're talking about using Puzzle Rush as a path of chess improvement. And so I guess there's two parts of it, right? There's like how to use Puzzle Rush to improve your chess. And then there's the question of like how do you improve your Puzzle Rush score, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the second question to me is like, yeah, a lot less important just because your score will improve as your overall tactics improve. And so there are some like, you can try to move pieces faster, and there's like some small tips like that, but ultimately I think they give very little benefit compared to everything else.
Now to that point though, you did this experiment with Elijah Lobazar where me and Bruce thought you were a madman for doing this, okay? Where you played like 3 million hours of 3-0 Puzzle Rush.
That's right.
In which, in each of those times when you do it, you got to solve like 20 back rank mates before you even get to the harder problems. Then you're 3 minutes up before anything interesting happens. Exactly. So I assume you're going to talk about that experiment too, right, in this video.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I think the higher rated you go, the more you need to do it to derive some real benefit, because I think it's pretty simple. Like once you've developed your tactical skill, it takes more and more work to raise it. It just gets steeper and steeper. For low rated players, I think Puzzle Rush is just brilliant because you can just do like, I mean, today I did a stream, earlier today for like an hour, and I think I did like maybe 20 runs or something. Averaged about like 30 problems per run or so. So that was like 600 tactics I solved today. So that adds up quickly. I mean, imagine you can tell your student, like, here's a book of like 2,500 tactics and you're going to finish this in 2 weeks. Like, that's a lot of volume for any level of player. I mean, I think that that's like pretty good. And hopefully if they're disciplined, if they're reviewing the problems that they get wrong, like slowly and trying to like internalize the answer, I think it's just great for pattern recognition. Yeah, I definitely think the 5-minute overall is probably a little bit better. The 3-minute is easier just because the puzzle battle is 3-minute, and then you can compare your scores side by side. But probably the 5-minute is better to do.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So you are basically a believer that you will improve your tactics, and this will make you a better player with the puzzle rush. And do you have strong feelings about 3 versus 5? For example, we got in the chat somebody F4 something or other. Can't read the full name because it's in green. But he's saying that he's been doing the 5-minute, and that if I was going to do it, I would definitely say 5-minute has to be the way to go.
Yeah. But I think 5-minute is better for sure.
Okay. All right. But you still were doing the 3-minute.
Lately I've been doing both. I'll just switch back because sometimes I'll do puzzle battle, so that'll be 3-minute, and then I'll do 5-minute like for when I'm just doing it normally.
Right. Well, we got a result. We got Vishnu winning that game.
Oh wow, nice job, Vishnu.
There it was. Pulled it out, dude.
Take you guys through the technique, the final moves. So yeah, look forward to that. That'll be a cool video. Today we released a new video from David, who did a bunch of endgame drills on stream, and then we kind of cut them up. So if you guys are interested about learning how to checkmate with king and 2 rooks versus king and queen versus king and rook versus king, these like basic checkmates that definitely have to know to advance in chess, David just shows you how to get it done and how to use the endgame drills to improve your endgame play. So that's on our YouTube channel now. And then we've got another video from Jesse. If you want to plug that, that's going to be coming out soon.
Well, right. So for ages, I've been talking about the endgame repertoire, and so that's coming out tomorrow morning. And the idea is not only to have a pretty easy repertoire to learn, but to get people into what I feel, whether it's class players or even masters and IMs and GMs, that they get in their worst part of their game, which is the ending. And that certainly implies that you feel like you're going to be better in the end game in terms of a competitive standpoint. But like what I'm really stressing in the video too is like, if you want to get better at chess, if you want to compete against the strong players, your end game must be very strong. And so this opening is a way to force yourself to get some very practical endgame positions right away. You get a lot of them if you play this repertoire. So that was that, and it, like all my opening repertoires, I don't. Well, the openings I'm attracted to generally aren't that concrete anyway. And what I mean by that is some openings, like the Sicilian, are going to be very concrete, and you have to memorize a lot of stuff. That's not for an old guy like me. This thing that I got going on now, it's pretty mostly ideas. There's not a lot of concrete variations. So therefore, it's easier to learn.
Nice.
Especially for us old guys.
That's cool. So you guys can look forward to that, you endgame enthusiasts who want a simple repertoire to play.
Yeah.
And we got Vishnu and John in the chat. What's up, guys? Your game was fascinating. We spent a lot of time looking at it.
It was pretty good. And John, yeah, we thought you
very
were
exciting.
Maybe a little too much with the attack, but ultimately we thought it was practically a victorious decision. If we go, let's take this position and say we felt after bishop 15, bishop e7, we felt you were on top.
Yeah, we thought white is probably good here.
Yeah. And right, queen a5, rook e1, queen h5. We thought your move f3 was probably great, but just to show it, Kostya came up with bishop f6, and this was just a simplistic way of getting wherever the king goes. I don't know where it's going to go. Then you just play h3. It's a simplistic way of getting a positionally won game.
Yeah, this was hard to meet for black because white just goes h3 at some point, and then rooks come in, and This felt promising, but the game also felt really promising after.
We felt you were still winning this thing.
I think here was the moment where.
Here's the moment probably when. And let's just say the reason Queen E2 looked weird was you don't really ever want to take the knight with your queen. You want to take it with the rook. So, yeah, we were thinking Queen B3.
Right.
Or Queen D2 probably is okay too.
Yeah, maybe Queen D2.
One of those moves seemed like they had to be winning.
And there is some mess here. We didn't fully figure this out, but we thought like if Bishop E5, White goes Rook E3, and it seemed like White is doing well here.
Right. It's a little touch and go, but just the same thing, actually, the same insight with the slow line is that the bishop on C8 and the rook on A8 are so far from getting.
Yeah.
And the poor black king.
Definitely unclear. But for you, John, I think the main thing was just like you had a lot of times that you could have spent. So it's really hard to figure this out perfectly, but maybe you can put more pressure. It's also just unpleasant for black. I'm sure Vishnu can attest. Like, you don't want to just sit on 4 minutes for like 20 minutes while your opponent is looking through multiple like dangerous moves, and you got to be ready for all of them.
Yeah, Vishnu say he normally doesn't take. You're right, and Vishnu, like I could tell you were uncomfortable. I mean, anybody would be uncomfortable, but just the way you're thinking about it. And actually, maybe we'll show for you, Vishnu, what I didn't understand is, let's go back to move 11.
Right.
By the way, I felt knight G5 was too much. I felt that was way too much. White should just play like bishop G3. I'm going to say full compensation. And I'd rather be white after bishop G3.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, in this position, Vishnu, after bishop G5, well, maybe you had a reason. But queen C7, hard to imagine you're not winning there. Really hard to imagine. That's a holy moly of a position.
Yeah, it felt like such a nice tempo for black to play queen C7.
Yeah. Monstrous.
I mean, I couldn't find anything for white after like F4, D6.
Right. And Vishnu's asking, was bishop G7 correct? Well, we definitely thought queen C7 was the move. But bishop G7, knight D5, we were thinking ED5 was a little bit asking for it.
Yeah.
We don't know what the evaluation is yet, but just D6, we couldn't prove anything for white after D6, which is a move I think you want to make anyway. You want to play D6. Yeah, we couldn't find it.
Yeah, it would be interesting if John, if you had some thoughts on what you would do here. Because it felt tough to prove it with black playing b5, and then at some point e takes d5. Bishop f6 could be a move, but I think we just take and go king f8, right?
Just take it.
So I didn't see much here. We also tried knight f6 and king f8.
Yeah, we tried all kinds of things. Rook e1, knight f6. Yeah, we tried all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, d6, when you take on d5, you discovered this, when you take on d5, you want to make sure that the guy didn't play d6 on you. And you kind of need d6 anyway. So it's not like you decided to not take the knight. D6. You're just saying, well, since white doesn't have anything great at the moment, I'll just play d6 first. I'll do it next move.
Yeah, don't take it immediately if you don't have to. Right, because you might have, or as John says, take the first piece, don't take the second piece. Yeah, because
right.
Yeah.
Now that said, like you might turn on the computer later, and the computer might say you're still winning or something. But this is like scary business.
Yeah, you always have to.
Scary business. I don't know what's happening now.
Right. No, you always have to judge it like based on how likely it would be to find that line for you, because the engine says, oh yeah, you're better if you just find these 6 moves.
Yeah.
It's not like you had like a winning position. So.
Maybe here is you could play f6 here in this position instead of knight c4.
Yeah. I feel like we didn't quite figure out what's going on here after rook e1.
Yeah, this was still monstrously complicated. Oh, right, because we looked at this, I think, or something very similar.
Yeah, knight c4 here, knight takes d6.
And right, my intention was just like to snip this guy and say I'm alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a variation like this.
Oh. Okay, so big changes going on in Mitch's game.
Uh-oh.
Oof. Well, he got to play e5. All the rooks got traded. Not sure that Black should be happy about that, but...
No, I don't know how he traded the rooks. That was bad news. He at least keep one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of, not a lot of time spent on Black's last move, I was going to say. Rash decisions here, Mitch being Mitch. But he does get e5 in, and takes on d4, and now this king on a1 is just like...
He's been playing the last couple moves very quickly, too.
Right.
As if he's got it figured out, and maybe he does, but honestly, I don't know. I'm looking at this thing. I don't know what's going on.
It feels ugly for white, for sure, but yeah, who knows?
But, like, why is it lost? Like, let's say in this position after knight a3, let's say I play, I don't know, queen d3. Why am I host in that position?
Go knight bc4.
What's the threat?
Just want to go queen e1.
So I have no idea what's going on there, Kostia, but like in that position I could at least think about bishop b5.
On queen e1?
No, so queen d3, knight bc4, bishop b5. You could also maybe do queen d3, queen e1. Maybe you're holding your advantage that way too. It's just not immediately apparent to me.
Huh.
And I say that only because the guys move so fast. Like, oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not
And you played
super.
queen b3, which might be similar to what we were just talking about. Yeah, it's interesting because, Mitch has made so much progress without having the experience of a tournament play. And I think some of the mistakes I see him making feel like the mistakes of experience. Like, here you have a guy, at least a couple of moves ago, where I would say, if I was Black, I'd say, I'm totally winning this thing. I'm really going to, just think until I find it.
Right.
I'm going to think until even here, too, you better, you need a, your default move could be knight ac4, but didn't you just come from there?
Right.
You don't want to go back. That's not what you wanted.
How about, what if we try queen e1 in this position?
Good. I think at least it's the only move to go for it.
I mean, I think it's very sketchy for white. I feel like position's kind of collapsing, but it feels like Black had better earlier, or could have just kept more control and just, because now it's like some kind of concrete mess. Who knows? Maybe white gets out somehow, because the back rank is going to hang in every line here for Black, especially without rooks.
Right? No, it's not clear to me.
So yeah, this is the stuff Mitch definitely needs to work on a little bit, is like these strategic decisions. You got to understand with this pawn on h6, it's like...
let's say this position, Kostia. Let's say I play queen a3, and you're going to play queen e2, right?
Yeah.
And then I play queen e3. Where am I Kostia?
I think it's queen b5, but yeah, I don't know. Game continues.
Game continues, right? Bishop f1.
Oof.
Game's not over yet. We might even have to start asking who's better and why. If I, that pawn on h6.
This h6 pawn is always, it's always annoying. Yeah, I think black had better earlier, much better. If we just take it back for a sec. Here's rook c6, rook
f8.
f8.
I like all those rook trades.
Yeah. Or e5. Yeah.
Yeah, rook b8, and then trading the rooks, absolutely wrong decision. Not only are you losing the attacking potential, but then your back rank is truly a problem. Like forever a problem once that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, Mitch.
Okay, he's thinking now. That's good.
Yeah.
Let's check in with Todd. And let's see what's going on here. We did get knight d5.
I'm gonna chastise Bishop here. Look what he did. He says I had to check. He says he used chess. Now, look, I think it's fine if you look at the computer, but look at the board with yourself first before you look at the computer. Because once you look at the computer and the computer tells you ed5, of course you're going to say to yourself, oh, maybe it was insane, but it was actually the right move. No, it wasn't the right move, man. It wasn't the right move.
Yeah, I'd also say don't trust this chess.com engine on anything. That's super tactical. At least, yeah, if you're going to use an engine, at least use like a strong, use your laptop, desktop.
So what are you saying with, I'm interested about this chess.com engine. Like, for example, Bubba Tuff, who's on here, says that the main problem is that because you're not running it on your own system, it doesn't have the power.
Yeah. Because like millions of people are potentially, yeah, they just can't.
But you were also saying something about it being tactical or something, or
yeah, well, in positions that are really dynamic and there's a lot of sacrifices, the engine isn't gonna have enough depth to fully understand white's compensation in a lot of positions. I'm sure there's a ton of positions where black is getting mated with the bishop on c8 and rook on a8, and chess.com says -3.
Right.
Like, so. Yeah, it definitely takes a lot longer for that engine to.
Oh, okay. Here's a question I have for you here. Now, I'm obviously not computer savvy, but there's something I need to understand about the cheating world and the computer.
Yeah, let's talk about cheating, guys. Oh man.
So what I need to understand is, like, let's say you're cheating. How do you do it? Do you have a separate window open, and how do you get like the moves from one window to the next? Or is there a way to just have the chess.com computer do it, right?
I think people cheat in different ways. I know that there was like, I remember hearing about some kind of app that basically you know how Google Chrome has plugins, like you can have apps that work while Google Chrome is running. Okay. Like if you want to take like a screenshot of the page you're on Chrome, there's an app where like you click it and then it takes a screenshot for you, and then that's that. So I'm pretty sure there was an app that would just like analyze the position and run the engine on it. So it would just kind of be like in your browser.
Got it. Okay.
I'm sure some people just have like a separate laptop set up next to them, and they just kind of feed moves and just do it that way.
Because like here's the reason I'm asking. So this last week, we've known all kinds of chess cheating cases, but I have this student, and he's very strong in playing in the Barber. Now the Barber, if you don't know it, it is the K through. It's actually not K through 9 anymore. It's 6 through 9, as I understand it. But they didn't have this back when I was a kid. But anyways, instead of just having the Denker, you have the 6 through 9, 6th grade through 9th grade championship. And multiple kids were tossed because of the chess.com algorithm, right? Mm-hmm. Now, the thing was, they did have like a camera on the kids. Mm. But like these kids like for example, you're watching me now. You don't know if I don't have my shorts on or whatever. You can't see in the side of the room, so you can't see the whole room, right? You can't see the whole room. You only see whatever their thing is pointed to. So I guess that's what these kids were doing, and I think a lot of times too, partly because they feel guilty, but also maybe part of their setup. This is why I asked about the setup, is they have to like switch to some other thing, and so they're not going to do it on every move.
Yeah.
Right. So the algorithm has to catch people who sometimes make terrible moves, but are looking at key points, which is of course what Rousey's did too. Rousey's wasn't looking. You just can't go to the bathroom every move, man. You only go on like the critical moments.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing is that some events, so, right, the way we have our cameras right now, that's kind of the normal Zoom setup where you just see the webcam in front of you. The way US Chess Hub does their tournaments is they force players to show a camera angle of their entire playing area. So your camera has to show yourself and your computer screen at all times. So they're much more strict about it. Meaning instead of in front of you, you would set up the camera to the side, and so you would just see the computer screen would be kind of blurry, it wouldn't be in focus, but it would be enough where you can see if someone is on chess.com and if they're switching tabs or running some other program. Still not foolproof. I mean, someone could be sitting under the table with a laptop and then just like showing moves every once in a while, and they would never pick it up. But then of course we have to just rely on the power of the algorithms that will catch people. Even if you guys don't cheat on every move, it will still catch you. I guarantee you, you're not going to outsmart the AI. Oh, I'll just cheat on certain moves. Trust me, you have bias. You're not going to be objective about it. You're going to overdo it, and you're gonna screw yourself over.
So you're making the argument that what is the argument? You can't cheat, or what? Yeah, what do you say?
I think it's really difficult to cheat for any kind of significant amount of time successfully. You might be able to cheat in a game or a couple games or something at this point, and maybe get away with it. But if you cheat in a whole tournament, I think even if you're really careful about it, I think good chance you get caught.
Right. Which brings us to the other interesting case of the week, which was Elizabeth Pates, who I know pretty well, got banned from Lead Chess, at least for a while. I don't know what the extent of her ban, but the algorithm said that she was cheating. She, of course, says she wasn't cheating. I'd be surprised if she was cheating, but it was this weird context where she was complaining about her opponent cheating. And that's, I think, how a lot of people who normally wouldn't think about cheating end up cheating, because they feel like they're getting cheated against.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so then they feel some kind of entitlement or need even to cheat.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of strong players getting frustrated because they know their opponent is using an engine, and then also using the engine kind of in response.
Right. I'm going to get you. I'm going to prove it to you.
So yeah, I don't know. I didn't hear anything about the Pates case. So I don't even know. To me, it wasn't even clear if that was even her account or not. But I guess it was, since she denied, she I'm sure it would have come out if it wasn't even her account. Right. by this point, so I assume it was. Yeah, I remember there was this video by GM Tal Baron that was kind of weird.
What was? Tell me about that.
Well, he has this video where he basically admitted to cheating because of what we said. He was 100% sure his opponent was cheating, and so he admitted to also using the engine. I think his opponent might have been. At some point, he had some controversy with Naka. I don't know exactly what happened there, but yeah, there was some huge mess. I didn't see the games that people were sharing.
Run an engine in lipstick. Yeah. Anyways, man, I want to say I just want to say on a personal level, the cheating, was some random online tournament. Of course, it was terrible, but when it happened in the Barber, and just because I played in the Denker a bunch of times, and because that was an aspirational thing for me to play when I was a kid, to play in things like the Barber, that really touched me. That somebody was cheating at something like that. It was like you've crossed. I mean, you're already crossing a line, but it's so weird, right? Because they're kids too. That's why I asked about like the setup. I'm like, how are these kids like? Oh man, they're doing some probably technologically advanced, at least kind of technologically advanced stuff. Cheating, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they're just, like. I'm at the level of computer literacy where I wouldn't know what else to do except like copy paste my stuff into like a chess-based program or something.
Yeah, you would get caught so quickly, Jesse. Don't go the Rouse's route.
No, I'm just saying like on a technological level, right? That's the only thing I could imagine doing. Which, especially if you imagine playing blitz chess, I just assume that's so time-consuming anyway. The blitz game.
Yeah. And yeah, it's very strange to see it online. I mean, I imagine some kids are. I mean, people say like sometimes the parents help the kids. That's so weird to me that like parent is helping the kid cheat. I think it's more likely that kids just don't understand the moral, whatever of cheating. So I think for a lot of them, they just want to win, or like they just see that the engine is like all powerful, and they're like curious, like, wow, can it really just like crush people for me?
Well, your boy Todd Bryant's getting worked. It's not over or anything, but he's kind of getting worked.
Yeah, White is playing a really nice game here.
Yeah.
All I'm seeing is that Black is just kind of... Okay, Queen A5. That White was just kind of dominating the C file.
Do you understand this comment? Because basically it works like OCR with a scanner, like scanning documents.
No, actually, Stargrat, I don't know what that's referring to.
I assume we're talking about some kind of cheating mechanism. Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, cheating mechanism, right.
I'm going to make a prediction, by the way. We're coming up on 9 o'clock, and I'm going to guess that Josh Fidel, who's in the chat, he's going to start streaming, and then we're going to pick up his stream, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there we go.
Are you going online, Josh?
He says I couldn't copy a game into ChessBase. That's one of the few technological things I can do, my friend. I can get that one. I know how to do that one. Yeah, Fidel's gonna start it up.
All right, we got an end game. We've got an end game in Mitch's game. So now at this point, White must be completely out of the woods and maybe even probably thinking optimistically at this point.
Oh yeah. In fact, F5, if White plays... Okay, so the idea, F5 has an idea that if G5, then F4. In that position, I still like White. But there's no need to allow that either. Oh yeah, White's doing great, right? White's doing fantastic.
Well, knight on b6 is tied down to this d5 pawn, so it's very unpleasant.
And the h6 pawn is still a real beast. He's not going anywhere, my friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that looks actually very standard two-bishop position. The extra pawn of Black's on d5 isn't going to mean nearly as much as the kingside stuff for White. The White does have, let's just say, he does have to make a good decision right now.
Maybe, maybe we could try g5, and if f4, just take it.
And then, good. I was thinking about the same thing. And then bishop f4, bishop d4, king b1, bishop f2. And that's where I was wondering if we have everything we dreamed of.
Well, either bishop e5 or bishop h3. Maybe bishop e5.
Okay. Seems like there's Okay, so that's one approach.
But yeah, kind of maybe not necessary. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so yeah, at least White has to make an interesting decision here. Though I definitely believe in White.
If takes and f4, I think king f7. I like this at first, but then king f7 kind of bothers me. King g6 coming. So, not easy for white, but somehow feels like should be better. Maybe just like... No, can't go f3, because then that allows knight c4.
You know, another cool idea is play gf, bishop h3. Then we can get your idea of hammering them with the bishops.
Mm-hmm. Knight c4, just take on f5?
Nice assumption.
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, that's not totally... Yeah, it looks pretty good, actually. But it's not over. Not over yet.
Yeah, like bishop f6 and...
Yeah. Okay, so yeah. White, all we want to say is White's really happy that it's gone the way it's gone.
Big time. He got out. Yeah.
Yeah, so Dor, the Latvian GM was, I don't know if I'd call him a friend of mine, but we played in the Bundesliga together in the last millennium. Actually, you know, like so many of these other cheaters, they're not horrible people. It's this very interesting thing that it's not who you'd expect. It's not like, you know, you think of criminality, most people think of a certain type of person. It's not that person who's cheating in the chessboard. Right? Your assumptions about who the cheaters are don't apply anymore. That's the interesting, bizarre thing in my experience.
Yeah, it's the folks with a bit of like, almost like they have this like cognitive dissonance. Like sometimes they know cheating is wrong, but they're just like, they don't know what else to do. It's just they have this block. Like, I guess that's what it feels like happened with Rousis. Like clearly he understood that he's kind of like giving up by cheating, like on all kind of any kind of integrity. But I don't know, I got this feeling from him like almost like he was like an addict, like he knows it's wrong but he just had no choice.
Yeah, I definitely want to take on it. I mean, at a certain level, when you do, especially if we're doing it that long, he was doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'll say this too. Let's just say it's amazing that Mitch is improving. And it's, you know, he's an adult. And at some point, basically he hasn't hit his plateau yet. Me and Rouseys have hit our plateau long ago. Is it possible for us to make some mild improvement? I would like to really believe so. And so I would imagine like maybe I can improve 50. Maybe 100 points. Rousey's went from like around 2,500 when I knew him. He was like around 2,480, 2,500, bouncing around there, all the way up to almost 2,700. You know, it was like a whole new level.
Yeah, that's when people are like, no, that's too much. Like, okay, you're playing against low-rated players, but come on, like the consistency.
He was playing strong tournaments too. Wasn't totally like some kind of easy business.
I thought most of his games were like a big majority were playing down like 2,200s or so. I'm not sure. I just
he played in a lot of open tournaments, but he was playing a loads of 2,600s and yada yada too.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And yeah. I mean, and to beat, you know, the whole thing. Actually, what I've discovered in my own little journey is trying to get your rating up playing 2,200. It's not the easiest thing. You got to beat those guys all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm skeptical of a GM who's like scoring 9.5 out of 10 against the 2,300s. So no, I know it's not that easy.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to be back on Tuesday for what we got. Title Tuesday. You can do Title Tuesday this week.
Yeah, I think I want to keep working on the Blitz.
All right, cool. And my proposal, and you guys, if we want this to happen, you guys have to help me push David and Kosi to do it, is to do a double round robin blitz tournament between us at the time control of 3-1. So it'll be just like a fun thing in addition to being training for this Title Tuesday.
Well, are you around tomorrow, Jesse? Do you have time, like your afternoon?
Yeah, I should be able to do it in my afternoon. Yeah.
Okay, maybe if David's free, we could do it. 'Cause we got a Chess TV slot at 2 to 3 Eastern.
Dude, I could do 2 to 3 Eastern. Yeah.
Okay, great. Maybe David will be around.
Plan on it if David's around. Yeah, and so the third man out will do commentary, and it'd just be a cool thing.
Yeah, do some blitz training.
Yeah. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Jesse. Yeah, that was fun. Have a good one.